Here's how to ensure that your brand is driving the product development process. Every time you work on developing a new product, ask yourself the following question. Brand should drive your product development. I've seen too many founders screw this up. Don't be one of them. Everyone selling something online aspires to build a brand because we all know that brands are valuable. Think about Apple, Red Bull, or Patagonia. Building a successful brand means that people buy your products because they love what you stand for. They love your reason for existence and they want to be associated with it. So they buy the products you sell. But how do you do this? How does the average side hustle e-commerce entrepreneur build a brand? Maybe you think it's all in the name or in the logo, or maybe if you pick the right color palette and have pretty pictures, you'll have a brand. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Building a brand requires that you make some hard decisions on how your company operates. And one area of operation that needs to be guided by brand is product development. Because if your brand doesn't guide your product development, you're not only missing out on a huge opportunity to build a moat around your business, you're greatly hurting your chances to succeed. Because competition grows stronger every day. And building a brand is the best way I know to not only stay alive, it's the best way for your business to thrive. So watch to the end, because after I tell you 3 reasons why your brand should guide your product development, I'll tell you how to do it. Let's dive in. Think about the last time you pulled up at a stoplight next to a super fancy car like a Lambo or a Ferrari. What went through your head? My guess is that you're not thinking about the specs or the features of the car. Who cares about how many cylinders are in the engine or whether or not it has Apple CarPlay? All you're thinking about is what it would feel like if you were in the driver's seat of that car. You think about how everyone would be looking at you and you'd feel special. And this is what good branding does to consumers. It evokes emotions. It's less about the function of your product and more about the feeling it gives you when you own it. Now think about cute little puppies. What emotions do you feel when you see playful puppies? They evoke feelings of love, happiness, and playfulness. That's why people buy puppies. So what does this have to do with your product development? Everything. Your products need to be designed in a way that creates the emotions you're aiming to evoke in your customers. Let me give you an example. If your brand is all about removing plastics from the ocean, it makes sense that the products you're selling helps people feel like they've helped remove plastics from the ocean. So if you're selling a watch, design it using as much recycled ocean plastic as possible. This is a really easy example to understand. So let me give you one that's a little bit more abstract, but just as powerful. When we started selling our low smoke fire pits at Solo Stove, we wanted to draw out the positive emotions people have when they're together with their families and friends. And since the focus was to amplify these emotions, we didn't want our product to get in the way. So we intentionally designed it to be super simple and easy to use. There were no moving parts or any excessive bells or whistles that could distract the customer away from what we wanted them to do. Laugh, tell stories, and enjoy the company around the fire. Yes, we could have added in all sorts of gadgets which might have been fun for people to use and would keep people's focus on our product, but by design, we aimed to have our product fade into the background. And this allowed customers to spend less time tinkering with a product and ultimately have more time enjoying the powerful emotions that come from spending quality time together. Our products allowed customers to have a priceless experience. Your products need to be designed with the goal to create the emotions you want associated with your brand. And this leads me to my second point. If your brand doesn't guide the design of your products, the merit of your product is limited to its function and utility. Does it work? Yes, that's it. Like a generic screwdriver, it does its job, that's it. Pretty boring. And the problem with this is that your customers are less likely to talk and share your brand with others if there's nothing to talk about. They don't associate any positive emotions with your brand, and this means they're way less likely to recommend it to others. I don't talk much about my calculator to others because it just does its job. I don't feel anything when I use it. On the other extreme, if you've ever had the experience of going to Disneyland, you know how easy it is to talk about it. And when you share your experience with others, you probably don't even think about or talk about the specifics. What rides you went on, what you ate for lunch, how it smelled, or how nice the cast members are. But everything in Disneyland is done by design. It's designed to be the happiest place on earth. And when you tell others about your trip, you probably just tell people how fun it was and how your kids had a blast. And you say something like, you just gotta go, it's awesome, it's the happiest place on earth. When your brand guides the design of your products, it will be easier for your customers to share your products with others in a powerful way that extends far beyond the function and utility. They'll share your brand with others because it means more to them than just what it does. Using brand to drive product development helps clarify this for them. And speaking of clarity, I need to tell you how using your brand to guide product development can help you avoid falling into a trap that I see a lot of people falling into. If you don't have guiding principles to help you as you think through what products to make, it's easy to fall into the thinking that just because you can make something and you know you'll be able to sell it, that it's a good idea. One way I see this happen is when people think that just because your customers suggest something, that you should go make it. Customers usually think about function and utility first, which is why you need to take their suggestions with a grain of salt. They're not thinking about how to strengthen your brand. If you're not clear on what your brand stands for, your reason for existing, it's easy to get lost. And your product offering will reflect this. You'll have a bunch of random products that are trying to do everything, and as a result, do nothing, or even worse, damage your brand. Developing a product just because you can sell it is very short-term thinking. And as I mentioned before, competition is fierce, and you need to capitalize on every opportunity to build up your brand. And using your brand to guide your product development will keep you from launching products that just don't make sense. For example, if I'm a luxury brand and sell men's watches for $800, it doesn't make sense to launch a product that's a kid's watch and sells for $29.99. Could I sell some? Probably. Is it a good idea? Absolutely not. Or what about Red Bull? Do you think it would make sense if they started selling a Red Bull kombucha tea that promotes healthy gut bacteria? No. That would be dumb. So be careful and thoughtful. Let your brand push you to develop products that are additive to your brand and speak to your brand's reason for existence. So how do you do this? Well, if you're just starting out, it's pretty obvious that you need to work on defining your brand first. If you haven't done this, start here. I'll leave a list of books in the description down below that you can use to help guide you as you develop your brand. After you have a foundation for your brand and you've defined your reason for existence, here's how to ensure that your brand is driving the product development process. Every time you work on developing a new product, ask yourself the following question, which I borrowed from Emily Heyward's book, Obsessed. Ask the question, is the brand story you're telling and the feelings you want to evoke supported by what the product does? Use this as your North Star as you develop products. Use it to help you build a brand that slowly and steadily creates a deep, wide moat around your company, allows you to separate yourself from the pack, and most importantly, creates deep emotional connections with your customers. And if you're looking for more videos on e-commerce and entrepreneurship, click on this video here that YouTube thinks you might like. Remember to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer all of the comments. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.